Building a business is hard enough. We don't need to make it harder on ourselves. Welcome to Simple and Powerful, a show where we explore and highlight the idea of what would this look like if it were easy. Today's guest is one of my favorite examples of the power of simple, helpful, humanized content to attract and deeply connect with your ideal clients. And I can say that because I'm in her target market and I am obsessed with the stuff she's doing. She just crossed over 10,000 followers on Instagram, and she is a prolific genius in her field, showing how you don't need fancy production or equipment or expensive agencies to build your brand as a business owner. Her straightforward, quick advice videos have hundreds of thousands of views on Instagram, and I'm excited to talk to her about her journey of getting started and what it looks like a day in her life being this business owner and doing her own marketing and content to attract her ideal clients. So, Coach Joey, welcome to Simple and Powerful. Super grateful to have you on here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I was so excited to do this.
Yeah. So give us a quick rundown of like who you are in your business model so that we have some context for what we're talking about here.
Sure. So I am, and this is kind of my catchphrase at the end of my videos, I am a former college basketball player and a current head coach. I am also a basketball trainer, which is primarily what I do. I've been training kids for over 6 years now. I started during COVID. Um, a lot of my business started with Facebook and then word of mouth. And then I only just recently started using Instagram. So about a couple of months ago in May, I started consistently posting on Instagram, and crazy, but I've posted every single day since May 10th. I have not missed a day. Most days I have posted 1 to 2 times. And I essentially post very simple 30 second to 1 minute videos of me giving some type of advice, motivation, brutal honesty, or tip for basketball players, from youth basketball to really it could apply to anyone at any stage of whatever basketball they're in. And sometimes I even hear from people who don't even play organized basketball. They just play for fun and they love my content. So it really has like a large group of people that I have been able to reach.
Yeah, it's awesome. And to give an example to the audience who hasn't seen your stuff yet, even though you're a basketball trainer, like knee jerk thought is like, oh, she's like on a basketball court with like her camera on a tripod and she's like recording drills and giving training advice. But that's not what you're doing. Most of your videos are like sitting in the car talking to the camera. So like,
Yeah.
how did you like, first of all, how did you like get started with this stuff? And then I want to talk about like a lot of people are going to hear like, whoa, you post 1 or 2 videos every single day. That sounds like a crazy amount of work. So like, how did you come up with, I'm just going to talk to my camera and give advice versus, oh, all these basketball trainers online are always doing like showing drills and practices and stuff like that?
Sure. So I created an Instagram account for my basketball team in November, and I was just using it to post like fun, silly pictures of my team after games to just promote my team. I coach for a private school, so you can obviously bring in players kind of from all over the place. Um, and then I would post certain drills during basketball practice, but I genuinely was just doing it to kind of like leverage my team and my experience. And then after the season ended in March, I kind of abandoned my Instagram. So in May, I started training players again. And I was like, I'm just gonna throw on a video. Like I didn't even think about it. I posted a very quick video talking about, if you take 50 foul shots a day for this amount of days, you'll have taken this many shots. And I just posted it. I didn't really think much of it. And then I continued to just post a little bit more. And then had a video that hit, I think almost like 60,000. I was like, wait, that was kind of cool. So ultimately, I have dabbled in multiple areas of content, but what I found like most inspiring and efficient for myself was just I guess it's called yap content. Essentially, you're just talking to your phone for 30 seconds to a minute. And I see content all the time. A lot of people, they have very fancy camera work and they're going and they're having it almost looks like it's professionally done. And I'd lie to you if I said I wasn't discouraged initially because I didn't feel like a knack for it. I didn't feel like it was something I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, why don't I just stick with what I want to do and just be the best at doing it?
That's amazing. That in and of itself is like the biggest gem of advice you could give anyone in anything, right? It's like,
Yeah.
find a thread of something that like you're going to be good at and be the best. Like don't try to force something that's not natural, right? Or doesn't make
Yes.
sense. And I think especially
Yes.
when it comes to marketing and digital content, everything can work. So like if you want to have some kind of like high production, high edited, go into a studio, 10 camera shoot, blah, blah, blah. Like there's examples of that working really well. And then there's
Mhm.
also great examples of Coach Joey in her car after a workout giving a 30-second tip and getting 75,000 views. And like
Mhm.
without any calls to action in your content, people are DMing you to work with you, right? Like it's just
Right.
that's even more incredible where like run a marketing audit on your account and it's like, oh, you're missing a website in your bio. You don't have a call to action asking people to work with you, but clients are coming to work with you because you're just like demonstrating this amazing, value and authority and helpfulness in your content that makes people want to naturally work with you. And you're showing like, hey, here's who I am. Here are my values. Here's my, my point of view. And people are looking at that and saying like, oh, this is exactly the kind of person I want working with my daughter or working with myself or whatever, right? Like, and that demonstration of your expertise and the passion and excitement that you have that shines through that. Like I'm a big believer in the frequency, like, the invisible frequency that we're putting out based on our energy of the content
Mhm.
makes a big difference too. So it's like you love what you're doing and love what you're talking about. And that like shines through in a way that you can't put in a checklist of like, oh, I'm making a video and I'm going to make my passionate energy shine through the video.
Exactly. We're always looking, and I've actually been doing content on and off for over 3 years. I used to post fitness content, I used to post holistic health content, and while I'm very passionate about those, I think that it wasn't until I found something that I was able to combine passion with experience, that's when things really started to take off for me. Like, because people don't wanna just see someone talk about something, they wanna see someone who's experienced it, and that's kind of why I bridge the gap between the player to the coach, because I can connect with players, I can connect with coaches, because I'm I've done both of it. So, yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And especially, in today with all the artificial intelligence stuff coming out, like in all areas, marketing and content is a big thing that's like being taken over by that. But also like AI doesn't have the experience of a human to be able to do that. It doesn't have the nuance of connecting with people when you're coaching them and to, really understand the person you're working with and what they need to understand. And so like I'm curious both like in your work and it like as a coach and trainer and also as like a business owner marketing your stuff, like are you using AI in any of the things you're doing or are you just like keep it simple, like straightforward and do your thing?
I really, and I've felt this way since ChatGPT and AI came out. Do I use it occasionally? Yes, but I really try and stay away from it because one, I think it clouds our own thinking and intuition. And I always find that I just have my best like, I will come up with content ideas just, like, from training kids, like, I'll train people, I'll hold a practice, and then ideas will come to me. I'll go for a walk, ideas will come to me, like, I wanna be in the like, I wanna be the one running my business, not a computer or a machine. So, sometimes in terms of, like, certain formatting or advice, I'll go to ChatGPT for, like, just some clarity, but overall, like, my takes are authentic and, sometimes ChatGPT can be beneficial for maybe like hooks or prompts, but actual content and information that I really that comes from me. It also, um, I read a lot of books, I watch a lot of YouTube videos on basketball, and I listen to other inspiring people, so that, inspires me a lot, for ideas, but I don't use ChatGPT for my business model, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
everything is just, me kinda spinning words.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. There's so many things that I want to double click on in what you just said. So number one, I'm a huge proponent of AI, but in a way that is sourced based on everything you just said, right? Like I think the number one thing people don't realize when we talk about like how do we make this easy? How do we make it simple? Is you could sit down for an hour and research on Google or ChatGPT or whatever. Oh, what are some ideas that would help me speak to ideal clients and attract people that I want to work with and blah, blah, blah. And okay, you just spent an hour doing that. Or
Mhm.
you just did an hour training session already with your clients, and here's 4 things that they were asking you and that you worked on. It's like,
Yeah.
that's the research. That's the stuff
Yeah.
your actual clients are asking about. And so if you're having, when you have meetings, sessions, DMs, emails with clients and prospects, like that's the source of your research. Like you don't have to go and spend time research. So cut an hour of research out because it should come from your work in the trenches, right? Like, and it's like, all right, that's what people are asking me. So if I say that in on social, that's what other people like them are going to be interested in. And I think that's so key. And like also the content, the substance of what you're talking about being from you, like the whole point is you're the expert and you know what you want to share. And like
Right.
getting that from AI would, defeat the purpose and like feels very disingenuine to say the least, right? Like it's like
Right.
you're the
Yeah.
genius and you're the one that like people should want to work with. And being able to just source that and then exactly like how you described it, I take it like to another level of like you taking your stuff and then run it through AI to multiply it and reframe it and whatever. But it's like it's your genius, it's your experience, and it's your source of advice and all that kind of stuff, right? Like that's the core of what really connects with people right now. And being able to create that like resonance with people is not going to come from, hey, AI, give me like 10 content ideas for basketball training tips. It's like, no, you're the basketball trainer. Like, you don't need that, right? Like,
Right. And it just doesn't feel as authentic
yeah,
too. Like, you're you have so much experience. And there will be times even when, if I don't like over the weekends, I typically don't train clients. I'm like itching to get back to my clients because it inspires me so much. And you don't even like really realize it until I'll leave a training session with someone and I have like 3 ideas come to my head. I'm like, I got to talk about this.
that's awesome. So I want to get into that. So you have ideas. Where are you? Like, how much pre-planning of ideas? Do you have like a running list? Are you like, where do you like keep and organize all that stuff? Or are you just like on the fly, real time, and that's it?
So typically, I have a running list. Like I have a Google Doc of all ideas that I have. Sometimes something comes to me like, and I'll record. Like I always see you want to record something pretty soon after the idea comes to you, but I typically just add it to the list. And yeah, it's I have like a whole bank. And the thing too that's great is that you you can't run out of content ideas because you could spin off something, you could reuse an idea that went well, but just, you know, spin it in a different way. For example, I've made at least a few videos talking about like the best athletes are the ones that will work even on the days they're not motivated. But you spin it in different ways. You use a different hook. You use like even just like a different tone. Like it's people aren't going to remember the video you made 30 days ago where you said something that was pretty similar. Like they're not scrolling back and they're like, you've done this on like this was a month ago. Like, don't do this
I
again. Like
say that all the
that's
time. And it's like
yeah.
there's a bunch of things where I think people should be reusing the same idea, but also even just straight up reposting what you posted 60, 90
Yeah.
days ago because number one, they're not going to remember. People don't remember what you said 5 minutes ago when they're scrolling, like let alone 5 weeks ago. So they're not going to remember
Right.
it. If they do remember it, it's because it was so damn good. They're going to like it again the next time. Right. And
Right.
if you're doing it consistently, your audience is growing. And so you're reaching new people when you put it out the second, third, fourth time. So I think like creating stuff on the fly and using real-time content published as like a future bank of content is also a great leveraged idea where it's like if you post something new every single day for 90 days, all right, you post once a day for 90 days and you have a bank of 90 posts. So continue your daily habit for the next 90 days, but then recycle the stuff from 90 days ago. And now you're posting twice a day with zero additional work. And then after 180 days, you're posting 3 times a day with zero additional work. Like, and it just like compounds every single time you create something. And like, of course, like if you put something you didn't like don't reuse it. But if there's good stuff, like you can just create this whole compounding growth library of stuff
Yeah.
that you're putting out.
Exactly. No, and like you said too, it's it's also about new audience too. Cause what's the goal of content posting? To reach people who don't follow you. So if you repost a video and that these people don't follow you anyway, it's always going to be new content for someone. How many users are on Instagram? Like you're always reaching new people every time you post. That's the goal.
Yeah. Um, a couple things like what's something that has surprised you in a good way and something maybe surprised you in a disappointing way of like starting to post? It sounds like you didn't really have much expectations when you got started, but like, what are some things that like maybe you're like, oh, this is definitely going to work and it flopped, or vice versa? You're like, ah, this probably isn't going to be good, but I just want to get it out and it took off.
So I'll I'll start with I guess something like not necessarily flopping, but this kind of goes back to what we said. Doing something that I'm all about working hard and putting in effort and whatever, but doing things that don't align with what you actually want to do because that's not sustainable. Like I've tried to make the videos before where I'm like filming myself on the court and I'm cutting it and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I end up just being so frustrated and exhausted after it. And then I don't even want to post it. And content should feel, I don't want to say effortless, but like it shouldn't, or it should be something you're excited about. Like if you're filming videos and you feel drained or burnt out after making them, it's not the right content model for you. And I've tried different models. And I've also, what works for you is not what works for other people too. I have friends in the same space as me who make these videos where they're demonstrating, they have like all this professional videography. That's not what resonated with me, but that's okay. Like, I don't have to do what other people are doing. And frankly, that's like the purpose of content is some people are going to do other things that you don't do and vice versa.
Yeah, I think this is so awesome. How much of us like a lot of the stuff you're talking about like also feels very familiar from like an athlete standpoint, right? So like how much transferable skills and values do you think there are in like what has helped you from being a very high level athlete that has carried over into this?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I mean, comparison like we just talked about, and this is actually one of my favorite takes too, and I'll just kind of bridge the gap between sports and content creation, but you don't need to be good at everything. Like, I played college basketball, and I can assure you, like, one of my weaker skills was definitely three-point shooting, but I still had a very successful career. Like, you don't have to be good at every single thing, and that is also why I think social media and content creation is so beautiful because then you can network with people who are good at what you're not as good at, vice versa. And that is, I think, one of the goals of like community and social media is like, let's like leverage each other. Like you're good at yapping, you're good at demonstrating, like let's collab.
Yeah, that's super cool. I think, and this sports analogy that I use a lot when it comes to social media marketing is that like the problem when it comes especially to like trying not to compare or not to say like, oh, that stuff is working really well, I need to do that versus like, oh, that can also work really well and I'd be better at that is that
Mhm.
the social media landscape, like if we're looking at it like a place, it's more like going out to recess versus going on the basketball court where like at recess there's kids playing wiffle ball, kickball, dodgeball, basketball, football, soccer, all at the same time.
Mhm.
And but it's all in the same place. And when you go out at recess and you're playing basketball, you don't come in and go, "Man, I really suck because I didn't hit any home runs at recess today." And the guy on the field, I'm looking at this kid over here who hit 2 home runs playing wiffle ball. It's like, yeah, but dude, you weren't playing wiffle ball, you were playing basketball, but it's all the
Yeah,
same place. And so social media is like that, where it's like we're all in the same place, but we're playing different types of games. And that
right.
comparison, like you're not even comparing like, oh, I'm a point guard and that point guard is better than me. You're like, I'm a point guard and Aaron Judge hits more home runs than me. It's like, yeah, he does. Like,
It's not it's comparing apples to
right,
oranges.
exactly.
That's a great analogy, the recess, and that's really awesome, I love that.
And so I think that's important. And I think this is also an interesting analogy is like, all right, I'm assuming a guard. Most people watching this maybe won't be basketball fans, but like you're not a great 3-point shooter, but you still had a really great career. How do you know? And this tying into the content of like, all right, I like FaceTime style videos versus doing like like recording drills. Like some people are gonna be like, I can talk effortlessly to. I'd rather give advice versus record myself training drills to put out because that
Mhm.
whatever and vice versa. Like, how do you determine like, okay, Shaquille O'Neal didn't work on his 3-point shooting because like he's not a guard who needs to hit threes. He needs to work on this. That's very clear. But how do you determine, okay, this is something that's hard for me, but I need to develop this skill and get better versus this is something that's hard for me and doesn't help or align with where I want to go so I can drop it? Like, how do we know what should we focus on improving versus just let it go?
I actually love that question because my answer to that really has to do with like intuition. And I have always like sometimes not everything is so like analytical and like scientific. Like sometimes what it just comes down to is how do you feel after doing it? Like after I make a talking video, I feel good. I feel confident about it. And I still need to work on them too. Like if you saw my first video on Met in May, versus how I'm speaking to the camera now versus how I'm gonna be speaking to the camera in, 3 months. Like, it's like an evolution of it, but I feel great after doing it, and I feel, like, purposeful. When I film videos in the past where I've tried to, like, film myself training or doing certain videos, I end up just, like, frustrated, and I almost, like, want help with it too. Like, if there's something that you feel like you need someone else to help you with, it's probably because you do. Like, if there's something you just don't feel like you have a knack for it, it's probably because you don't. But down the line, who knows? Like, maybe you'll meet someone who can help you with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So I think another big thing is that the volume of reps that you get, right? So
Mhm.
there's, a lot of people will talk about, oh, I'll batch my content. So one day I'll sit down and I'll spend 4 hours making a whole bunch of stuff and then I'll schedule it, right? Or is
Mhm.
it, do I do 5 minutes every single day? And what I tell people for getting started is you can always do both. And I have a strategy for doing both simultaneously. But I think when you're getting started, you need to do it every single day for at least a month, if not more, to get the reps in and get comfortable. Because if it's something and spend that 30 days deciding, is this something that I have a knack for and that I do like? And like you got to get past the
Right.
first handful of like it's gonna be cringy and it's gonna suck, but that's fine because when you're getting started, you're not going to reach a lot of people anyway. So like that's the time to get over it, right? And to put in the reps and doing it every day and becoming a natural. And then not only do you get better at it, but it becomes more like just fluid in your day where like for me, I don't block off time for creating content. I get out of meetings and I grab my phone and make something, or I'm getting emails
Yeah.
and talking with clients, or I'm even like, and this is a good tip for people who are like getting started and don't have a lot of clients, like scrolling social media and seeing something in your niche that you have a perspective on and you leave a comment, it's like, well, now use that and like that build it, not just getting better with the reps, but then it becomes natural to just like, oh, that's something I should make a video on, right? And like, or and if you're not a video person, if you're a text person, then doing that, right? And like figuring out an easy style of if it's Instagram, like having a text-based template you could put out quickly, or just focus on a channel like Threads or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever where text is easier, but
Mhm.
putting in the reps to get good and then make it just a habit that feels effortless.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like it's trial and error too. Like there's no one has it like all figured out, and like I think that that also kind of makes it exciting partially too. Like you have to try different things. Like I also have studied content a bit too, like from other influencers, and like I've taken note of things, and really what the grand lesson I've learned from all of it is that most people are overthinking their content. And
100%.
most people are overthinking it because if you think about it, like you want your content to feel like a like you want to feel like people want to open up their phone and feel like they're like having a conversation with you almost. And like most of us are able to converse pretty naturally. But when we're overthinking our content, it makes it very robotic, and then it just doesn't like, you wanna the goal of content is to make people feel something, like, emotionally.
Yeah.
So, I think that we're often just overthinking our content, and then that kinda takes away, like, the emotional aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And I think that's where, like, you don't seem like a scripted type of person, and, like, there's some people who getting
No,
started,
yeah.
like, maybe you do need a script. My recommendation is always, like, have your main idea. If you wanna write your first line, your hook, like, that's good to put some extra thought into a little bit, and by
Yeah.
extra, I mean, like, 5 to 10 minutes. Like, don't spend
Mhm.
an hour coming up with 5 words to use for a video when you're gonna do it every single day. It's like, the next one's right around the corner. It's just like being a shooter, right? Like, you take a shot, if you miss, it doesn't matter, you're shooting again in 30 seconds, like, you
Right.
gotta keep going. And, like, my daughter is, she's a guard, she shoots a lot, she's a pitcher, so you're pitching constantly, and it's just like, you just have that next pitch mentality where you can't put so much value on one thing, and especially for when people are getting started and you've never posted before or you've only posted a couple times, if you think about, like, you overthink it because one post is 80 when you have 2 posts up, your next post is 33% of your body of work. So you're like, "Oh my god, this is like a third of my
Mhm.
everything," and I'm like thinking. But then once you get going and you're like, "Oh yeah, there's another one," like, "Oh, that wasn't great, but like I'll get the next one." Like when you realize, "Oh, I'll get the next one," it shifts everything. Like I remember a couple weeks ago, a client emailed me, they were having some kind of like weird technical glitch on their LinkedIn post or something. And they were like, "Hey, how
Mhm.
do I go?" I'm like, the time you spent emailing me this question was already more time than you should have thought about this. Just put up the next post. Like, you post twice a day. It's like the next one's coming in 2 hours. Don't worry about
Right.
it. Move on. Like, just shoot or shoot. Right.
Right. No, you gotta keep going, and you gotta play the long game too. Like you said, if you just start posting, like, people post on social media for like 3, 5 years, like, and some people it takes, like, I mean, even personally, I've posted on social media for 3 years. You just and I it sounds corny, but the one thing is, like, don't give up.
Yeah.
Like, if you feel like you really have something important to say and you have a
Oh yeah.
purpose, which every single one of us on this earth does, keep going. Cause, like, you're not losing anything by posting something.
That's the
You're
huge thing.
only yeah, you're not like, you're literally there's no point in not posting about something you're passionate about. Like, what? Because then you're just gonna look back and be like, "Oh, I coulda," like, no, just start.
Yeah.
Like, literally just start. Even if you get 20 views, like, that's 20 views.
Yeah.
Like, and then like, what are you looking to get out of it? You could get, like you said, you don't need to have 100 million followers to get clients.
Yeah, yeah, and I have, someone I work with started a year ago. He's a teacher, and he posts, a lot of stuff on, like, neuroscience tips for parents type of things, like, to help develop kids, mm, all that kinda stuff,
Yeah.
and this dude posts a video every single day for a year, and he would had, like, 90 followers for a year. Maybe he had 1 or 2 things pop off to, like, 1,000 views, but, like, very minimal results, and if you're just looking at, like, results, like, he shoulda given up, like, after 2 weeks, right? Like, but he
Mhm.
stuck with it for a year, and then it popped off, and he got, like, 300,000 views on a video, 8,000 followers in a day from it.
Oh my wow, that's
Like, one thing, like,
amazing.
like, he, put up a product and got, like, his first couple sales from it, like, but it took a year of, like, 0 results, and then something took off. Sometimes I think about it like,
Typically how life
yeah, it's
works.
crazy, and, like, the thing is you never know what it's gonna be, which one it's gonna be, or why. Like, a lot of times, like, for whatever reason, it just, like, can be random, and or at least feel random, and that's why the persistence matters. Like, that Steve Jobs, commencement speech, where he was like, "Life, you never know how the dots are gonna connect until you're looking back at them." And so it's like, oh, that's why you just like keep doing things and like in hindsight is when you're like, oh, that's how like being a basketball trainer ended up making me a better content creator, which led to me being an entrepreneur who was attracting clients. Like, you didn't know that when you were
Right.
8 and you started playing basketball, but those dots all connect.
No.
But the thing that I think he missed out on there, this is a back of my head content piece I've been like refining for a couple weeks. I haven't like articulated it yet, but it's like, yeah, you don't know how the dots connect until you're looking back in hindsight. But the more dots you put on the board, the more likely things are going to connect, right? Like you have more
Yeah.
things to connect and they're going to be closer together. And so I think like putting things out consistently puts more dots on the board to make connections and create opportunities for partnerships, clients, like impact, like all that kind of stuff.
Right. You get out what you put in.
Yeah.
Like that's essentially how I look at it too. Like, you could I'd rather try a million things and, like one of them works out than just trying nothing. Like you just always try, like always never give up. And like I told you, I've experimented with multiple kinds of content over the 3.5 years and whatever. And like it's a waiting game. It's patience. I would be lying if I said there weren't times I didn't get discouraged or or like that was part of my journey too. Like I would get discouraged, I'd
Yeah.
get upset, but like, it's all part of the journey, like, as cliche as that sounds, like, I wouldn't be where I was at now if I didn't, like, just say, "You know what? I'm just gonna post, like,
Yeah.
let's see."
Yeah. Well, I mean, these are like all the transferable skills of being a committed athlete. And like also I like as a parent, I think it's so important for our kids to be in sports. And like if they're into it, like let them be committed because I think you actually just posted a video the other day about this, but it's like it's not about like being the number one pick in the NBA draft in 20 years or whatever. It's like it's about like all the skills and values you develop as a person that like carry through life in all these other areas, right?
Right. Right. It's not about, like, 'cause, and I did post a video about this recently. I was like, only 3 to 4% of high school athletes are gonna play college basketball.
Yeah.
So 96, 97% of you aren't, but like, why are you playing? What are you looking to get from it?
Yeah.
Like, because and I get it because when I was a kid too, I wasn't like thinking like, oh, like this is really gonna like help my work ethic. Like I was 16.
Yeah.
I feel like I wasn't thinking that way, but it's important for the parents to motivate their kids
Yeah.
to stay in sport.
Yeah, and then, I don't know if it's just my algorithm as a girl dad, but, like, I see all these stats that's, like, 78% of female CEOs played varsity sports or, like,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff like that, right? And, like, the other thing that's funny too, like, about sports that I played, just, like, a dad league pickup game every Tuesday night, and, one of the dad's sons was a freshman this year, and he got cut, he didn't make the team, and he told his dad, he's like, "Oh, well, you can still, like, play in rec and try out next year." And he's like, "Well, what's the point? Like, who cares if I'm not on varsity?" He's like, if I'm not on varsity." He's like, "Dude," he's like, "I'm 45 years old and I still play and, like, make friends playing basketball." He's like, "It's not about, like,
Yeah.
being on, like, whatever.
No.
It's gonna come through and be helpful, whatever." But, one thing that you mentioned I wanna circle back on is, like, you're a big reader. What are some of your, like, favorite books and stuff? Because I have a huge library in my office here, like, I'm a huge, like, proponent of lifelong learning and reading, like, what are some of the books that you love and recommend for people?
Yes. I was just wanted to make sure I had the author of this one that I'm about to tell you. Okay, so this book this is actually the book that, helped me get into coaching. So, I got my, master's in finance in grad
Oh,
school,
yeah, I should have
and
asked you that if you like, well, yeah, what were you studying in school?
yeah, so I studied business, and then I went to get my master's in finance, just kind of like, just trying to figure like, get some continuing education, whatever. I had a professor and he was talking about, this book that can help you with like your life path. And at this point, I felt so like lost, I
Mhm.
want to say. And it's this book, it's called, and I can also send it afterwards.
Sure.
It's called Strengths Finder 2.0. And essentially, the book is about how humans very often we focus on what we're not good at and improving it where we really should be focusing on what we're good at and leveraging it because all of us have skills like whether it seems small or not like we all have things we're good
Well, and
at.
the thing is
And
when you become good at it, you think it's small because you devalue the things that come naturally or that you're better at, right?
right, exactly, like even if one of your skills is being friendly, it's like okay, well that's like applicable for like like there's so many different routes, but anyway, there's a quiz within the book, and I took it, and, you get your results back, and afterwards, one of the directions it led me down to was becoming a coach, And when I was done with basketball, I really thought that I was done, but I was like, "All right, like, let me just go, like, let me look for a coaching job." There was a coaching job, ironically, at a school, near me that they're actually when I was there, I was the assistant varsity coach and JV coach. They were the number 1 public school in New Jersey at the time, so it was a
Nice.
very good basketball
Yeah,
team. And that really just kicked it off, but to be honest with you, if I didn't read this book, I don't know if I would have gotten into coaching. So, this is if you're someone who I guess would feels lost, or if you're someone who is just trying to figure things out, this book is really good
that's
for, like,
awesome.
honing in on your good qualities and, using them to your advantage. So I can yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love, like, people who aren't, like, big readers, like, I get it, like, but for $19 or whatever the book costs, like, that changed the whole trajectory of your life, and, like, look at how many, people's lives you're helping and impacting now, like, because of that, and, like, because you read this book, like, that's awesome.
Right. I'm a huge like, I think when people give you a book or a book recommendation, I think that that's the best gift that you could give someone because, like, it literally could change your life, and, a lot of these books out there, it's some of them aren't even I'm reading a really good book right now too, it's called Surrender, and it's just basically it's very good actually for entrepreneurs and content creators, so this is another one. I can't speak on it too much because I just recently started it, but it does talk about just, like, the different aspects to kind of, like, determining your life path,
Yeah,
and, it's another good one too, so
yeah.
I would recommend those 2 books.
Cool, awesome. And you mentioned, like, other inspiration stuff, like, not to, like, put you on the spot of your favorite inspirational resources, but, when you're looking for inspiration, like, who are some people or places that you go to besides just books? Like,
Yeah, so this is kind of going back to what we talked about, like, social media, like, I love YouTube. I I mean, I still think that it's such a bet because YouTube's great too, because especially with reels and stuff, like, it's very quick inspiration, but I also do enjoy watching, people, 10-minute videos or
yeah,
15-minute videos. Um, not really anyone specifically. I definitely just I oh, well, I will say I am a huge sucker for, like, motivational speeches, and I really like this is not really as related to, like, basketball, but I started listening to Joe
oh,
Dispenza,
yeah,
like, a couple of months
yeah,
ago,
yeah,
and I used to listen to, his YouTube videos, on Spotify. I would just play them like music in a background, and I slowly felt, like, shifts in my brain.
totally. His
Um,
books are great too.
okay, yeah, I've heard, like, The Supernatural's good.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've read that one.
yeah, there's,
Um,
becoming, what is it? Becoming Yourself or Unbecoming Yourself or something.
okay, I feel like I've heard of that one. He's amazing,
Yeah,
and, the last one I'm gonna add is for podcasts.
Breaking the Habit
I
of Being Yourself was another one, yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay, the, podcast on Spotify, it's called The Resilient Mind, and they have, like, a bunch of really good speakers on there, just all different ones that it just talks about it's an amazing podcast.
Yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah,
just
yeah.
check it out.
That's awesome. All right, and let's see, what do I got left here? Inspiration, books. Where do you think? How much do you think about, like, the future of your business and doing this, like, type of marketing, and or like you said, just like this is what you're aligned with and you're rolling with it.
Yeah, every day. This is, well, which is good though. I mean, like I said to you, I think earlier when we were talking, like I look forward every morning to making my videos. I look forward to making content. Um, Now I'm starting to branch out a little bit in other areas, whether it be collaborating with people, um, and certain stuff on the way. So I'm definitely like looking to branch out a little bit more in my content, but the beauty of it is that it's just I'm kind of gonna flow with it.
Yeah, I love that. All right, last quick hit. Like, are there any particular tools that you use? You mentioned Google Docs for keeping your ideas. Are you just recording in your camera app or Instagram, or are you using, like, CapCut or anything like that? Like, what kind of tools are in your toolbox?
Yeah, so for my Yap videos, which is, 95% of what I post, I do it all in the Instagram Edits app.
Yeah, sweet.
And then it's obviously simple, just upload it right to Instagram. Um, but that was actually helpful. I had someone recommend that to me a while ago, so then I started doing that. Yeah, Google Docs just to keep my
Super simple.
ideas.
I love it.
Yeah, I honestly like it is very simple. Like I really don't
Yeah.
that's really
I
it.
think, you know what is such a great example of this, and like you're just like, I'm so grateful to have you on here, and like our conversation. We haven't spoken other than a couple text messages to schedule this, like, and me reaching out. Like, you're just like really the perfect example of simple and powerful. And I love even uncovering this. Like, it didn't turn out. You're like, oh well, every night I spend 6 hours like researching and scripting and memorizing. Like, but like the fact that I think you will go way faster by getting your foot off the brake and removing friction versus pushing your foot on the gas harder and your emergency brake is on, right? Like, you have very little friction between like idea recorded, published, and like you don't
Mhm.
let anything get in the way of that. And I think especially when someone's going to overthink like getting started on stuff, it's like, oh well, what app should I use? Let me go watch a bunch of tutorials on how to do that, and
Mhm.
then oh well, I have to edit things, and it's like, no, what does this look like if it's easy? It looks like I just worked on something. In your case, it's a coaching session with a client, and it's like, I just worked on something. Here's what I worked about. I want to say something about it. Hit record
Mhm.
on a I mean, the Edits app is like a super simple, couldn't be easier, basically the camera app
So
with a couple,
simple. I love it.
like, it's like open up the camera app, hit record, set your thing, hit stop, and then post it. And like even like your captions on Instagram are all one line. Like, you're not writing long form things. It's just like, send this to another hooper who would appreciate it. Like, like it's just so
Right.
simple and easy and effortless. And I love how you're growing your business, and I love the value that you're putting out. Like, especially I see so many people who are grasping for attention, and straight up, like, and I know behind the scenes from masterminds I've been in, and I know people personally who are doing this, unfortunately, like, they're straight up lying in their content, or they're like really exaggerating numbers or misleading things to make it seem, better or easier than it is in reality. And like the genuine, true, helpful experts like you are the people who I want to have their voices amplified. And like, the Martin Luther King quote of like, only light can shine out the darkness. It's like, with all the people who are just chasing content volume and like attention seeking at all costs, it's like we need good people like you to put your voice out there. And I just love how consistent you've been and how helpful your stuff is. And I love that it's just organically creating success for you and your business. And like, it's awesome what you're doing. And I'm super grateful to have you on here.
No, I really appreciate that, and this was so awesome, and it seems like we were very aligned on
Yeah.
stuff too. I was gonna say my final just piece of advice for anyone who sees
Yeah.
this or is creating content, whatnot, figure out like what your I almost want to say like, and this is ever changing, but like your purpose is first before diving straight into content because I didn't do that
Yeah.
and that definitely slowed things a bit. But like really determine like what you want to get out of it, what your goal is, and like what you have to bring. And then I think that is what makes the content a little bit more
Yeah,
effortless.
well, once you have a clear direction, you can run fast in that direction. When you don't have a
Right.
clear direction, you're going to be spinning your wheels, and you're on the treadmill. Right? That's kind
Right.
of what it's like, or running in a circle. So, yeah, getting clear on that, and I think like that's awesome. So, for all the basketball people who want to see you as a shining example of what I call leadership marketing, where's the best place to go? And then of like any basketball players who are looking for a trainer, like, where can people find you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is coachjoey.myers. And yeah, that's primarily where you can find me. You can DM me, comment anything. I field a lot of DMs during the day, so don't hesitate to reach out.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Go to thegrowthsuite.com/simple to get on the email list so you don't miss another episode of this awesome series showing you how easy it really can be